All right, let's get into it. This is Kamala Harris's first interview by herself with Action News' Brian Taff.
When we talk about bringing down prices and making life more affordable for people, what are one or two specific things you have in mind for that?
Well, I'll start with this. I grew up a middle class kid. My mother raised my sister and me. She worked very hard.
This is literally like a regurgitation of what she said in the debate. She literally was asked a basic question and went back to the exact same script. Let me let it play though.
I try to explain to some people who may not have had the same experience, but a lot of people will relate to this. I grew up in a neighborhood of folks who were very proud of their lawn. You know?
This feels like a spoof. I'm not gonna lie. The whole thing feels like a spoof. It can't be real.
We as Americans have a beautiful character. We have ambitions and aspirations and dreams, but not everyone necessarily has access to the resources that can help them fuel those dreams and ambitions. So my opportunity economy plan includes giving startups a $50,000 tax deduction to start their small business. It used to be $5,000. Nobody can start a small business with $5,000.
The tax deduction, right? So a tax deduction deducts from what you owe. So many small businesses are not profitable in the first couple of years. So if we're talking about a $50,000 grant, the reason why we're not talking about a $50,000 grant or a forgivable loan is because you'd actually have to give the capital to the business owner. Now, obviously, that would be a huge thing to give any startup business $50,000, right? But we're not going to do that. So the tax deduction won't even benefit most business owners because they won't owe taxes to deduct from anyway. She had to go around the block twice just to say this simple thing. He asked her a very simple question, and she went into the same script she went into in the debate.
Opportunity economy means, look, we don't have enough housing in America. We have a housing supply shortage. So part of my plan is to work with the private sector and housing developers to give them a tax credit, to be able to partner with us as the government, to build, and my goal is 3 million new homes by the end of my first term.
3 million new homes. Now it's going to be a tax credit to work with the private sector. What would be good to see is that if you had anyone from the real estate space who was credible to co-sign this proposed idea, everyone from the real estate space has been like, no, it's not going to help. It's not even going to happen for that matter.
You talked at the debate and at previous appearances about turning the page on the past. And in fact, here today in Johnstown, you're talking about a new way forward.
Yeah.
I think some people have a question, given maybe your current role as Vice President of the United States, how different you are from Joe Biden. And so I wonder if there are one or two spots, policy areas or approaches where you would say, I'm a different person.
I want to pause right there on the question because sometimes this is what happens. Someone asks her a question and she talks around the block so long, I think people who are listening forget the question. So again,
given maybe your current role as Vice President of the United States, how different you are from Joe Biden, policy areas or approaches where you would say, I'm a different person.
I offer a new generation of leadership. And so, for example, thinking about developing and creating an opportunity economy where it's about investing in areas that really need a lot of work and maybe focusing on, again, the aspirations and the dreams, but also just recognizing that at this moment in time, some of the stuff we could take for granted years ago, we can't take for granted anymore.
what are we actually talking about?
For example, another plan that I have that is a new approach is to expand the child tax credit to $6,000 for young families for the first year of their child's life, because that is obviously a very critical stage of development of a child. And a lot of young parents need the help to buy a car seat or a crib or clothes for their kids. And so my approach is about new ideas, new policies that are directed at the current moment.
I don't think this is much different than Joe Biden. She's just going to expand the child tax credit to $6,000. Keep in mind, there's a big gaping hole. She never mentioned immigration at all, right? When you talk about an opportunity economy, you can't leave out the 15 million people that came into the country illegally. You can't leave that out. So it's a little insane to me that she can do an interview, a 10-minute interview, and never mention immigration. And the interviewer never brought up immigration. It's insane. I can't understand how you would not bring up immigration. The 15 million plus they let over, I believe, are going to take over, particularly the black vote. They are going to replace the black vote. Ultimately, if you're going to vote for Kamala Harris, I think you should expect more from her. But I don't think she has more to give you. She sounded very nervous also, by the way. I don't know if you could tell, but she's not ready to run the country and is not fit to. I'm sorry. Let me know what you think in the comments, though.